Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! Yes. In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's swept in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
no Chelsea game to talk about? Not a problem, because we've got a fantasy draft. Oh, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual tundra this week, filled with lions in hoodies. I've got Ollie, I've got Berth. Hey, it's a very cold Friday show. What are you guys most looking forward to this weekend? Is it the temperature's slightly popping up at about 5?
Well,
No,
I've really
cold.
enjoyed it being -5 this week.
I haven't.
Are you a polar
I'm
bear?
being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic. I've hated every single minute of it. So
For one person, I can agree.
yeah, like anything above 0 degrees is basically summer now for me.
Oh man, I mean it's fine, but
Is
No,
it?
it's not. It's too
Is
cold.
it fine? Yeah.
well, we all know that my Danish DNA is. I'm happy with the snow and cold. It's like, yeah, it's normal. I mean, it did actually snow here briefly.
Wait 6 months though, and we'll be like, it's hot. It's too hot.
Of course. I mean, anything this weekend you're looking forward to? Mine's obviously NFL playoffs, so there's nothing else for me to add to that.
Ring
I
the
mean,
bell. Where's the bell?
yeah, ding, 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 ding. I'll do it. There we go. Well, I'm actually. Well, last week was also my 30th birthday party, which was heavy to say the least. This week I'm gonna have a bit more. I'm gonna have a bit more chilled weekend, but I am gonna see my granddad. It's his 90th birthday.
Wow.
Tomorrow. So yeah, going down to see him in Swindon. See my auntie as well. So that'd be nice. It's a nice little get together that I've got going. So yeah.
Bloody hell, that's lovely stuff. What about you, Ollie? Can you beat that? I doubt you could.
No, I can't. I'm having a quiet one in. I'm doing nothing this weekend.
That's
Honestly,
a bingo card.
Life's been kicking the crap out of me lately. I just want to quiet.
Oh my word, that's the bingo card, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
Tick it off. I was just checking who Swindon are playing tomorrow. They are playing Tranmere, but it's been postponed due to a frozen pitch. So...
Also, Swindon, for anyone that doesn't live in England or doesn't live near Swindon,
It's actually the nicest part of the UK.
It's not. It's not bad, but it's not. But it is home to what I can only describe as the craziest roundabout you will ever see.
Oh,
And that's a fact for you. That is a genuine fact. It's called the Magic Roundabout. It's right by Swindon's ground, and it is crazy.
oh,
Genuinely
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
It's just look at it. Just Google it if you're curious.
I'm so
yeah.
glad people come onto this show to listen to our football.
Oh,
takes.
honestly, I've just looked at this and it is a fucking mess.
Yeah, so for
What a
anyone that
mess.
doesn't want to go on Google and cannot be
Oh,
arsed and
no.
wants us to wrap this up, I'll shorten it quickly. It's 8 mini roundabouts in one big roundabout, and it is, like I said, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm already scared for my car if I ever touch that roundabout. No.
It's not that bad. It's not, honestly, it's not that bad. But people are definitely switching off this podcast right now, so maybe we should talk about something else.
Oh, the news. It's that time of the week. We're going to check out the news that you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea news. Chelsea have been offered Karim Benzema, Roberto Firmino and Aleksandar Mitrovic from the Saudi Pro League as Pochettino seeks to add some firepower to his squad. Wolves are considering a move for Armando Broja on loan. Chelsea haven't made any bid, nor is there any interest for Sporting's Victor Gyorques. Lauren James and Sam Kerr are in the 2023 FIFA Pro Women's World 11. And finally, former Blue Felipe Luis has been announced as the new head coach at the Flamengo under-17 team.
Go Felipe.
But yeah, that's the thing. Fair play
Good
to
for
him.
him. I will never forget him turning up for one season, scoring a free kick, and then just fucking off.
Yeah. Oh, what a player! What a player! Anything from this week's news grabbed your attention?
It's been a quiet week, isn't it?
Yeah, it has.
The whole bloody window's been quiet.
I mean, here's a question for you though: is obviously you've been linked with Benzema, Firmino, and Mitrovic from the Saudi league. Of the three, which one would you actually like to see at Stamford Bridge? I don't think we'll get any, but which one would you like?
That's like saying, do you want like a Ferrari, a Vauxhall, or a space hopper?
Oh, I can tell you, do not get a Vauxhall. Just don't do that. I
Exactly.
can strongly don't do it. The space hopper
Anyone
would be
who
more
sees-
reliable.
Anyone sees that list and doesn't pick Benzema, I honestly, you just
Okay.
You say that though.
Okay.
You say that though. I think Benzema is a fantastic player, incredible player. I've always been a big fan of Mitrovic. I
Okay.
honestly have.
Right.
I really think he's class.
Look. If Chelsea have the option of signing anyone from the Saudi Pro League on a loan deal, I feel it should be Mitrovic, because he's always given me the.
You're both wrong, by the way.
Look, he always given me the Diego Costa vibe. He's deadly in front of goal, and he don't mess about. You know, he's the type of player.
Do you know who's deadlier? The guy who won the Ballon d'Or.
Which is fair, but he reminds me that.
Come on,
hang on. He reminds me as the type of player that Dan Campbell might describe as someone who'd kick you in the teeth, and then when you punch him back, knock him down, he'll get up, and on the way up, he'll bite a kneecap off. I want that kind of man in our side.
I agree with Mike here.
You don't score goals by biting kneecaps.
Now, look, I've seen this on Twitter. Look, some have pointed out the rule of three. Currently, under the FIFA transfer regulations, a football player is only allowed to be registered with a maximum of 3 clubs in one season. During this period, the player is only eligible to play official matches for 2. However, a player may be eligible to play in official matches for a 3rd club during the same season if he has moved between 2 clubs belonging to associations with overlapping seasons. The Saudi Pro League kicked off in August, so I can see the point, which has been pointed out, but I kind of also assume that these clubs are not foolish. So if you're offering a player up, then clearly they must know the rules will allow his transfer. However, if it turns out that we can't sign him due to him obviously falling foul of this rule, then we can't. Job done. You know, but my opinion is based on the fact that if the option was there, then I would say take it. But again, just want to stress it before someone goes, you can't do it. If he does fall foul of the rule and we can't, we just move on. There we go. We're all happy.
Isn't Benzema on like £3.5 million worth of wages
He is
a week?
on
something like £3.3 million a week or so.
Well, you know what?
10% of the entire GDP of the entire planet, probably.
This is the thing, right?
amount of money.
This is why I wouldn't go for Benzema, because of just that. Firmino, I think would be the least attractive there of the 3, but Benzema's wages would be astronomical. He's also 36, whereas I think Mitrovic wages would still be high, but I think we get him a bit less, younger, will put himself about a bit more. I think it would probably work a bit better than any of the other 2 in our team, but that's
I just
just
think
my
you
opinion.
can get better strikers than Mitrovic if you, shop it
you
around.
can. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We don't well, based off everyone seems to be terrified of financial fair play restrictions. It seems that I don't think there'll be it. I feel this could be the quietest window of all time. I do.
Yeah, it's a good shout. It's a good shout.
I wouldn't be shocked if summer
The reason
is
we
as
haven't
well.
done anything yet is because nobody wants to buy any of our players either.
Oh man,
I wonder if the bubble is bursting on players with just like massive fees, with the FFP finally getting some teeth now.
Possible.
If people just aren't willing to be spending that kind of money because they're frightened of where it might take them in the future. I wonder, maybe the bubble's burst. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. That was the news. But hey, you all loved our injury-prone superstars draft back in December. We felt like it was time to step up to that famous podium and do yet another draft where we each select, well, we did say 3, but we changed it to 4 based on our chosen criteria. And for this episode, we're going to be drafting the best January transfer signings made by Premier League clubs exclusively. We're not going into Europe just yet. We're not going across the world. It'd be Premier League only. So there's a huge amount of talent here. So I am actually curious who we all have on our board. So it will be a snake style. And it will, you know what? I'm going to go Ollie, Berth, and then me. And Ollie, who is your first pick?
Well, my first pick is quite an easy one for me, actually. He's one of the deadliest strikers in Premier League history. It's Luis Suarez.
Oh, damn.
You
Damn
know
Ollie.
what? I should have put him on but he wasn't on my board because I expected him to go instantly. So I didn't even look his way. I was
Yeah,
like, no.
the when I was doing my research for this, the second I saw that Suarez was an option, I thought if I'm going first, I've got to go for it. And lucky me.
I'm shocked that he didn't go for his partner that they signed at the same time, Carroll, you know. Yeah.
As good as he is,
Oh man, I mean, yeah, Luis Suarez is just what a deal. I mean, just the whole concept of when they brought him in from Ajax. I mean,
it wasn't even that much money either.
22.8 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
Madness.
What?
That was a
What
record
bargain.
deal for them, though.
And to be fair, what a player. For me,
Hmm.
he's right up there. He's obviously just behind, but I'd arguably have him over Neymar, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would.
Oh yeah. Oh
Right,
yeah.
Suarez
Easily.
over Neymar. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. I mean, you can rely on Suarez to be physically fit for a game, and
Well, yeah.
I mean,
true.
and just think about his games against Norwich. I know Norwich fans don't, but bloody hell! Oh
My
wow,
fiance
Yeah.
is a Norwich fan, and every time I bring up Suarez, I have to remind her that he just meticulously and religiously dunked on Norwich at every opportunity, and she loves it.
it's just remember that in the 4 seasons that he played, well, 3.5 at Anfield, he had 4 in 30. This is the Premier League only. 4 in 13, 11 in 31, 23 in 33, and his final season, 31 in 33. Bloody hell!
Jesus,
I
That
actually
that's an
think, right,
unbelievable season.
that last season, I think you could argue is probably the best individual season from a player ever in the Premier League.
It's top
You could
5,
argue.
no doubt.
You could argue. You could argue it's up there. It's definitely up there.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think of Salah. I do think of Salah when he played. I can't remember
Oh
which
no,
year
no,
it
no, no!
was.
Sorry, I'm putting him above Salah individually.
Wow.
I think Suarez is a much better player than Salah.
I think Hazard
So-
16-17 is better.
Oh, what a shout!
Yeah, it's you know what? I tell you what, great future draft this is individual
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah, there we go.
individual season.
Bloody,
Yeah,
I
let's
love
do
that.
That'll
Right.
be fun.
Berth, who's going to be the second pick
Um,
off the board?
I'm actually going to stick on the Liverpool route, which really annoys me. My first pick, and for me, this guy is again, I think he's top 3 best centre backs in the league ever, and that's Virgil van Dijk.
I thought so.
Great
I just
choice.
knew it. I knew it. Didn't even have him on my
Mm.
list. I literally spoke to one of my colleagues today about Virgil van Dijk, and I went, I'm not even on my board because I know he's going to go straight away. I mean,
This is the thing, though. He is just an unbelievable defender, isn't he?
oh,
Just
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Do,
no
do you
doubt.
do you think? Here's one. Do you think that he has actually been one of the only players to ever justify the price tag when that's been over 70 million?
Yes,
probably
that-
one of
yeah.
the only other ones would be Alisson, who's also at Liverpool.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I mean,
yeah.
When you look at, obviously, we always say about the greatest fees paid for players. There's not many.
Nobody
that you could
mentions what
justify.
Van Dijk costs. Barely anybody.
That is the thing.
The
isn't it?
thing is though, when he got bought for 75 million, people were laughing.
At the
And
time,
they-
people
yeah.
went mental.
2-3 years later, now look, he's one of the best centre backs ever in the Prem. So
Yeah.
he's laughing now, really.
Yeah.
I think a prime Van Dijk is up there with the best for ever.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I mean,
100%.
I'll just quickly pull up the list that I've got in front of me. These are the players that cost more than him. So Maguire to United, Darwin to Liverpool. I'm assuming this is with all add-ons accepted, so take that with a pinch of salt. Darwin to Liverpool, 85. Anthony to United, 86. Mudryk to us, 88. Havertz to Chelsea at 90. I'm guessing he didn't reach all his, activations. Lukaku to United at 90. Pogba to United, that's 93 apparently. Lukaku to us, 97. Grealish to Man City at 100. Caicedo 100. Declan Rice 105, and then Enzo at 106. Bloody hell, that's if everything's activated. But oh my word,
I
some of
thought
those.
Caicedo was more expensive than Enzo.
I don't know. Hey, I'm just
I
going
don't
based
know.
off.
It's
Yeah,
been-
I thought it was.
it's all to do with like add-ons and random crap as added. You know, there's so many ways you can do it because you do it by currency or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, just wow. But yeah, Van Dijk's definitely earned it. He's definitely earned it. So, according to the transfer market, Van Dijk was Sancho cost more. Sure.
Well,
Guardball. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, my first pick, the third pick in this draft is a Chelsea player. It's a Chelsea player, and it is not Enzo Fernandez. It is Gary Cahill.
He was on
great shout.
For £7 million British pounds. I mean, what can I say? When he moved, it was a pivotal moment in not only his career, but it had significant implications for both Bolton and Chelsea that season. And that was the 11-12 season. He moves from Bolton to London. And in hindsight, seems a clear choice. But as the season unfolded, the contrast, I've going through all my research here in fortunes between both clubs. Wow. Bolton faced relegation from the Premier League. Chelsea, bolstered by his move, win the FA Cup, win the Champions League. He played semi-injured in that final as well. I mean, that first 6 months is just, you couldn't have wrote that. How incredible 6 months that is. FA Cup winner, Champions League winner.
Yeah, when you were at Bolton 7 months prior.
I mean, incredible. I mean, he was not only, and then onward from that, he was a clear mainstay in our lineup until it was roughly about the Sarri season, where, you know, he was unsuitable for the tactical system, which I feel was unfair on him. And obviously, when he leaves, he's adorned with all these medals. You know, he's got 2 titles, he's got 2 Europa Leagues, he's got a Champions League medal. Wow. I mean, he was so impactful at Chelsea.
Loved the goal as well, didn't he? Would always pop up with a volley in the box from a corner or something. You know, just always in the right place at the right time.
He reminded me almost, when you think of Cahill's goals, he reminds me of Shaqiri's goals. They only seem to be world-class strikes, like overhead kicks incredible. And because it's the snake draft, I get to draft my second pick, and it is another defender for £7 million. It's Nemanja Vidic.
You got the other one.
Good shout. Shout.
What a commanding centre-back. I mean, he earned a place in the PFA Team of the Year 4 times over 8 years, secured 2 selections in the FIFA Pro World 11, numerous accolades, 5 league titles, as 2 as those as captain, a Champions League, a Club World Cup. And he avoided the spotlight, but he just quietly established himself as the epitome of a reliable centre-back. You know, his defensive prowess, it was just, he had impeccable timing of challenges. He was always in the right position, and his tactical acumen was incredible. He had that raw physicality. He's one of the greatest Premier League players of all time. And he was also a leader. I think that, you know, as much as they had Rio, they had 2 leaders in that centre-half position duo, because, you know, he led the final, I'd argue, great team of the Ferguson era, especially by like an example. You know, you'd look up to him as a standard. You know, he had that unbreakable partnership as well with Rio. And wow. You look at Vidic and Rio as you look at Carvalho and Terry. That's how I feel. You know, absolutely outstanding. Berth, who are you? Who have you got?
Oh, I might as well. Since it's a Chelsea podcast, I might as well throw in a few Chelsea players in there, mightn't I? I'm going to go for. Here's a bit of a toss-up here. So I'm thinking of 2 strikers. But I'm going to go with this one, and it's going to be Olivier Giroud.
Oh, it's lovely. That's a cultured choice.
He was one of my options.
I just think bargain. Absolute bargain. It was one of them where when we signed him, we thought, what have we signed him for? And then he's turned out to be just what a great player. He got better when he went to Chelsea. He got better with age. One of the best big man, technically gifted I've ever seen. And scored some really important goals for us. Basically, won us the Europa League on his own. He scored that many goals. I was there when he scored that wicked goal against Southampton, the mazy dribble. Just an incredible player, incredible servant, and a great professional as well. And I think it was 18 million got him for. I just think he's one of the most underrated players who's ever been in the Prem.
100%.
Flawless signing. He was a true professional and a really, really good player as well. Now, isn't he the second highest scorer in Serie A at the moment as well? At his big age,
Possibly.
Still doing it. He's absolute class act, man. He really is.
100%.
Agreed.
Where are you going, Ollie? Who's your pick?
Ooh, I've got several choices here, and I'm not sure who to go for. I think I'm gonna go for Philippe Coutinho.
Oh, interesting choice off the board.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, I when he was on it, he was probably the best player in the league. Maybe other than Hazard, because Hazard kind of stole the show from him a little bit. But seriously, like free kicks, like the flair he had. He played on the right wing, on the left wing. His crossing was good. His passing was excellent. He was a creative powerhouse, and he scored goals as well. He was, for about a season and a half, 2 seasons or so, he was absolutely unbelievable, and that's kind of the version of him I'm thinking of here.
Yeah, I think that's
I think that's a great choice, to be fair.
And then they made a lot of money off him. So
they did indeed.
Fair play. I mean, £8.5 million. Wow,
not bad.
I've just quickly Googled that, and it says Southampton also expressed an interest, but Coutinho said he'd just prefer to join Liverpool.
Yeah, I'll just go straight there. It's fine.
Bloody hell! Right, Ollie, we've had 6. You get the 7th pick.
I'm giving myself a real strong strike partnership here. I'm going back in for another striker. This man's a true gunman, one of the best to ever do it across the Premier League. That's Jermaine Defoe.
Oh, you know what? He was on my board as my final pick, but
just an absolutely brilliant centre forward all around. Could just do it all. He really could, and I was actually very envious of Spurs having him for a long time because he was always very reliable. When for a long time we didn't have many reliable strikers after Drogba, at least. Defoe seemed, he seems like a good, a great striker and a good person as well. Everything he did when he was at Sunderland and all of that. So yeah, just again a class act and a really good player who probably doesn't get the recognition he deserves these days.
No. You know what? Because I wrote a little bit on it. I mean, that was a straight swap for Jose Altidore, and that transfer alone was instrumental in Sunderland's survival that season. Go on, Berth.
I bet you can't name the team that Jose Altidore scored his only Premier League goal against.
Oh, is it Chelsea?
Yep.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh, we were Charity FC even then.
We are Charity FC. We
really I mean, the thing was, you say about that,
NPCs score against us.
He scored that one goal in 18 months. Just one goal in 18 months he scored. So, funnily enough, though, this deal was mutually beneficial because obviously both players swapped clubs, and Altidore excelled for Toronto in the MLS, played a crucial role in securing an MLS Cup and a Supporters' Shield in 2017. And Defoe played a pivotal role in Sunderland's survival during the 14-15 season. And I mean, he pretty much solo on his own took the team on his back and ensured they stayed in the league the following season, getting 15 goals. And that directly earned them here. I've got 14 points. And then another 15 goals next season. Obviously they sadly got relegated, but what can you say to that? I mean, it's just...
and Defoe is also one of the few to be in the 5 goals in one game club as well.
Oh, bloody hell, of course. Right, Berth, who is your pick?
I'm going to go a player here that I actually really hate, but
that's interesting. Interesting to draft them, but okay.
But you look at him and you look at his goals, assists, how he's changed the team. You got to give him some praise, and that is Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
wow,
the best rat in the Premier League.
Like he's one of them where you hate to play against him, but if he was on your team, you'd absolutely just love him. But you look at the goals he scores, and he does get Man United out of a lot of holes. And that he's technically very
Especially
good.
when he first went there, he was scoring every week for a while.
Yeah, I mean, he was on fire for the first year he was there. He was incredible, to be fair. But it's he's captain. He's influenced that team. You can talk about his antics on the pitch, but he gets goals and he gets assists, and he's given Man United what they wanted. I think it was 85 million they paid for him, something like that. But you gotta say it's money well spent, really, because he has done well for him.
Yeah,
I think he's their best signing post Fergie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I think that's pretty. I can't think of anyone else who stands out really.
No,
which
I don't
says a
think
lot.
Nobody else comes quite as close. I don't think.
As well, because like he almost had a similar, but obviously up different end of the pitch, a Cahill impact. He came in, he scored, he improved them.
Yep. So few players seem to do that nowadays. That really is an underrated thing for a player to
100%.
So much goodwill with the fans if you can come in and do a job straight away, even if you then tail off afterwards.
I can't believe I get to actually say my pick next, because I've lost out on Defoe as he was my fourth choice on the board. But this player moved for another 7 million. So it's Andy Cole to Manchester United from Newcastle.
I don't go.
Now,
that's a great show.
I mean, it skyrocketed Newcastle, and it did his fame as well. And this was during an era where I found a good little quote where he'd said that the more goals I scored, the worse the attention got. And it apparently increased the attention was from everyone, including his local milkman and newspaper shopkeeper. That's incredible. They wanted to discuss football with him and his goals. I mean, that's the era that was. Absolutely nostalgic. And obviously he was adored by the Newcastle fans. But his relationship with Keegan sort of had a bit of turbulence. And apparently, this is what I read. It said, "I'm just a bit tired, boss," said Andy Cole. "Well, if you don't fancy it, you can expletive off," responded Keegan. Oh, dear. I mean, that rift obviously healed, but the 93-94 season was remarkable before Cole's moved to United in, obviously, the January of 95. I mean, bloody hell, Fergie pulled one off there because, wow, it was that firepower to rival Blackburn Rovers' SAS, which was Sutton and Shearer. They broke the transfer record in January, which doesn't happen often in January, let's be honest, unless it's us. Ferguson obviously secured him for 7 million, and with the young, at the time, Keith Gillespie going the other way. And he was pivotal in their treble winning season. He claimed 5 league titles. He got a 5-goal haul against Ipswich Town. There you go. Another member of the 5-goal club. Who'd have thought that would come up twice? And he had the telepathic partnership with Dwight York. Cole and York was just outstanding in the 90s. And his legacy marks him as one of the greatest ever Premier League transfers, not just limited to January, because of how impactful he was for United. Simple as that for me.
Yeah, couldn't put it better myself. Absolute quality player.
Yeah.
So, we're oh no, I get to go again, don't I? I got my fourth pick. This is
Of course
interesting.
you do. It's a snake draft, Mikey.
I had Giroud. Oh, you know what? Because of his spell, I am so sorry. Because as a player on my honourable mentions, I'll mention at the end. I'm going with Jesse Lingard's loan spell.
Wow.
So I'm going Jesse Lingard to West Ham.
That's an interesting one.
Because it was immediate impact.
He did do well there.
I mean, his debut scores a brace against Villa. And it was just consistent, noteworthy performances. He was an incredible force for them. He was key part to initiate crucial plays, open scoring or delivering match winners. He always came up clutch. He had 16 Premier League appearances for him, scoring 14 goals. No, contributed to 14 goals, 9 goals and 5 assists.
He
was not bad.
Exactly.
Not bad.
He was instrumental in their success. And, his significant contributions played a key part in them finishing 6th. And they obviously then got to compete in the Europa League. I can't leave him off this list because of that. Defoe was obviously ahead of him in my list, but for impact January signings, that is That's in my list. I've got to draft him. So Lingard is my final pick. So
Not bad shout.
Berth, who's your final pick?
I'm going to go with it's another striker, another ex-Chelsea player. Although his spell at us wasn't that great. Went over Aubameyang to Arsenal.
Oh, good shout.
Interesting.
I don't think you can argue that he was fantastic for Arsenal for the first couple of seasons. Like he was superb, and again, he's another player that did get him out of a hole, and was reliable. He got goal after goal, ended up being their captain. Obviously, fell out with the manager, but no, I think he changed Arsenal. I think he was. How much did they pay for him?
56, apparently.
56. I think that was money well spent on him because he did get a lot of goals.
Yeah, I think that's money well spent. It is a lot of money, though.
It is,
again,
but
we're not ones to talk, are we?
I think he had pace to him. He had that killer instinct, which I was missing for years. I do think he really.
I think he sort of symbolised them like becoming not bad anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Arsenal now as well. I mean, obviously, Aubameyang isn't the same player he was ages ago, but Arsenal are toothless again now. But Aubameyang for a bit he was on fire for him. He really, really was.
For a very short while, could argue he was the best striker in the league for a short while.
You could, and if you'd have put that Aubameyang in the team today, Arteta's team today, they'd win the league.
Oh yeah, I mean, he single-handedly won them the FA Cup against us. Penalty and the other goal. I mean,
yeah.
He also won the Golden Boot in his full season at the club as well. It was shared with Mane and Salah, I know, but still, that's pretty incredible.
Not bad.
I still can't forgive him though for being so shit for us.
It worked great.
We should never have bought him. Really, let's be honest. We should never.
Yeah, no, you know what? That's fair enough. That wasn't his fault, to be fair.
Right, Ollie, who's your final pick? Which is the 12th of this draft?
My final pick. We're going to bring it home for a Chelsea pick for my last one. His man is one of the greatest defenders, in my opinion, to ever grace the Premier League.
I'm so glad.
He's as wide as a barge and about as quick as one. It's Branislav Ivanovic. Just an absolutely phenomenal defender. Interestingly, when we bought him and he first came in, he didn't play that much originally.
No, he didn't.
He sort of it took him almost a year at the club to actually settle in. But once he did, he looked like he'd been there his whole life. And he brought the passion, he brought the physicality. He was actually, when he had his pace, he was really good at bombing up and down the right hand side. He was almost like an attacking fullback before attacking fullbacks were really done all that much. And of course he was a centre back by trade, so it's even more like, ahead of the curve, as it were. He was really an ambassador for modern football and just an all around sound player and decent person as well. So we got to include Branner.
Yeah, he was on my honourable mentions just because of how incredible he was, and for 9.7 million,
bargain.
That is one of those bargains. I mean, to be fair, there's some really good bargains. You got Ivanovic. Any loan deal seems to be a bargain unless it's João Felix for us. But wasn't the most. Higuain, I think, was quite expensive as well. That feels like it. I've just made that up. It probably wasn't, but I feel that was expensive. But,
it was expensive on us all emotionally.
Yeah. I'll run through our draft selection from 1st to 12th. We've got Suarez, Van Dijk, Cahill, Vidic, Giroud, Coutinho, Defoe, Bruno, Andy Cole, Lingard, Aubameyang, and Ivanovic. Oh,
some team that.
It is. We got no goalkeeper. We've got.
Yeah, well, I reckon Ivanovic should be all right to go.
Oh yeah,
he'll do all right.
It'd be pretty good. Right, so we haven't even got a line of the week to preview because there's no game. That's it's a shame. But what we've got some questions, and that's Charisma's questions of all. And Sam has asked, would you say we are in the correct place in the Premier League table based on the quality of players that we have within our squad?
No, I would say no. I don't think. I think we should. If you're going on basing it on players,
we're 9th, by the way.
Arguably, I'd say we're 4th.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you would put us. Top four is Liverpool, City, Villa, Arsenal, and Spurs joint.
I think we the quality of our squad, and on paper nothing else. I think we're fourth, third, maybe. But in terms of how they actually play, and in terms of how the managers, we probably deserve to be where we are. So football's not played on paper,
No, it's played on grass. No, genuinely, I have no. It's such a tough question. I feel like sixth because based on the other teams, they've got goal scorers. Like I know we've got Jackson, and we are very grateful to have Jackson considering how many goals he's contributed to. But we just need that goal scorer. That's the problem.
Yeah, I still think fourth. I still think fourth. I think even if I think we're a better team than Villa on paper.
I see where you mean now. Quality
if you
of squad,
give us Emery and give them Pochettino, we're above them in the table.
That's an interesting shout.
That's an interesting. Julian has asked, looking back, do you think it was a mistake not to keep João Felix in some capacity for this season?
No.
It's just Felix is all right.
I think he was okay, but I think you have to base it on. You have to do it on the basis that if we were going to have him, we would have had to pay for him, and that would have been like 80 million.
Yeah,
and I just can't see him being a player that affects games enough for that to be justifiable. I'm not saying he isn't a good player. No. I'm just saying I don't see that as his work. If it was like they offered him for like 40 million, bite your hand off, but not for 80.
I think he couldn't get the numbers that Palmer has got for us.
No way. That's why I say I agree with you. I mean, I don't think it was a mistake. I mean, when we talk about this, remember, you have to consider the context. Bringing him in wasn't just about his on-field abilities. It was about the financial side as well. It was a hefty loan fee plus the wages. It was like fitting a square peg in a round hole. I mean, Atletico had their price. And let's be real, we weren't shelling out that transfer fee to meet their demands. We heard their price. And, look at his stats for Barca. 3 goals, 3 assists in 16 league games. 3
So it was about the same for us, wasn't it? He got scored about like 4 goals in 20 games.
Yeah, something along them lines. And he's got 3 goals, 1 assist in 5 Champions League games. But
it's like, do you know what I mean? It's not like he's then gone on to prove us wrong.
Well, people are going to go, that's Champions League level. Yeah, but here's the best part. 2 of those goals and that lone assist came against Royal Antwerp. No disrespect, they're not exactly European giants. So when I see those stats, it's kind of empty calories. There's no nutritional value there. I mean, our fundamental issue right now, everyone will agree, is finding the back of the net. Felix, post Benfica, hasn't been your go-to goal scorer.
No.
Right. No. We close out this questions with Newbie Gardner, who's asked, with Chelsea willing to sell all their academy graduates for pure profit, does this harm our academy in the long run? Will the country's best talent still want to sign for Chelsea when they are more likely to be sold as a financial resource than get valuable minutes?
Go on,
Ali.
No, okay. I was going to say that this has been going on for years with us.
Not at this level.
No, but I don't think it's we used to have a reputation for selling and loaning out our youth system, and it's never changed things. I think there'll always be sort of Chelsea is a big name now. It always will be now. Nothing will change that, I don't think. So I don't think it's going to change anything. I think people may see other teams like a Man City or an Arsenal as a better option, but I still think we'll be able to draw all the good young talents to us, and I don't think it will change things too much.
So I don't think players who, like kids in the academy, see this the same way that fans do.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually, yeah.
Because if I'm a player who, in the last few years, who's coming up at Chelsea in the academy, I've seen for more or less my entire career, players get brought up to a really high level, and then go off somewhere, either on loan or permanently, to play a full and, decent career, anywhere between the Championship all the way up to Champions League level. So if I'm an academy graduate or I'm an academy kid at Chelsea, I'm thinking, well, I've got it made here because odds are I'm going to be able to at least either I'll play for Chelsea or I'll get a move somewhere else. And all the Chelsea grads seem to go all over Europe. Look at someone like, for example, like Oriol Romeu, right? Do anyone remember him? He was in our academy. I know we poached him from like Barca's academy, but he was a young player for us. He then went off to play for Southampton and played back in Spain, and I think he even played back at Barcelona as well. Look at the career he's had, and I don't think anyone could consider his career a failure because he didn't make it at Chelsea. And I think those academy grads will see it the same way.
It's an I can't disagree with the points you've made there. First of all, that is an awesome question that was posed, so thank you for that one. I mean, there's some valid points there as well, and it's something that I feel that the players kind of have to weigh up carefully, because it's kind of like looking for a new place to live. You're going to consider everything. You're going to consider the facilities, the neighborhood, what it's like on a day-to-day living basis. So I sort of look at it as if I'm a player in London, I'm going to look at the academies, the training grounds and all that, because I want to know realistically if I have got a shot at making it in the starting 11 or the squad. And I look at it from how if I look at the league table, you've got Chelsea with a stacked trophy cabinet, but in this sport, I kind of feel it's all about the now. And right now, if you look at the London clubs, you've got West Ham, Spurs and Arsenal sitting above us. 20 years ago, you would see Man United shirts everywhere. And now you're starting to see Manchester City. Success will always attract people. And I do wonder as well if young players are thinking, where do I have the best shot at getting minutes? And another side to this is an element that I feel that some might overlook is the human part. So it's nice to feel appreciated. Every player wants that appreciation. But under the current ownership, it seems like the academy lads are just sort of seen as numbers on the balance sheet. We talk about pure profit. Look at Conor Gallagher. He's arguably one of our first names on a team sheet, and he's on the market just because of his academy tag and pure profit status. That for me, what I ask, why would any young talent want to sign up for that kind of show? It's kind of like inviting yourself to a party where they're treating you like the appetizer when you're the main course, because that's Gallagher is a first teamer. It's irrelevant of whether he'd make it 10 years ago. It's right now. Right now, he's a first teamer, and yet we're still open to selling him. It baffles me still. It's just ridiculous. And I feel that would put other players off. I do feel it will put them off.
I don't know. I think for some players, just trying to think again through the player's perspective, like, as a player, I feel like it's different. I feel like for someone like Gallagher, it's different as well because of the fact he's actually a Chelsea fan as well. Do you know what I mean? Whereas for half the players, even in our academy, even who've been there since like 8 years old, aren't necessarily Chelsea fans, right? So I don't know. It feels like to me if I was an academy grad who'd been here since the age of 8 or whatever, and I was a Chelsea fan, I feel like I would be more determined than ever to stick it out at that stage.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
But that's just me, and that is what we're seeing Gallagher do. To be fair, because he's digging his heels in.
Yeah, exactly. Which we're very grateful for. Right, we're going to move to Lone Army Carousel.
There we go. Let's do it.
The game of categories. The rules are simple. I give the team a category, and they've got to give me an answer that fits into it. And if they take too long, the Jason Cundy alarm. And this week, in celebration of the start of the AFCON, it's African top goal scorers. So I want you to name the top 35 highest scoring African players in Premier League history. There are 35. And when I did this quiz myself, I got 33 out of 35. I was quite chuffed with that. I didn't think I'd even get close to that. But it's surprising how you start naming a couple and all of a sudden all the nostalgia floods back of certain players. And you're like, oh yeah, oh. So, yeah, right. I'm going to have to quickly mark these off because we're going to get through these. So we'll go to birth.
Okay, Mo Salah.
He's on there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yes, he is. Sorry. Yes,
I was going to say he has
he is
to be
on
there.
there. He's on there.
He is on there. Sadio Mane?
Yep.
Didier Drogba.
Yep.
Mahrez.
Riyad's on there.
Aubameyang.
Yep.
Yaya Toure.
Yes.
Ooh, good shout. Adebayor.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good one. Demba Ba.
Yes.
Oh, good shout. Yakubu.
Oh yes.
Iheanacho.
That shows a big shout.
Yes.
I think he's just got enough.
Wilfred Zaha.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. Kalou.
He's on there.
Papi Cisse. I don't know how many.
Yep.
Maybe.
Wilfred Boney.
Yes.
Canu.
It's already been said, Berth.
No, he said
Does-
Kanu.
Oh, did
No,
he say?
no.
I thought,
Yeah.
sorry, my
No, Canu.
earphones cut out there. It was
Saved you
it was
there,
Can-
Berth.
Yeah, I've saved
thank
you.
God.
Yeah,
Well
there
played.
you go.
Well played.
Right.
Well
Nothing
played.
if not sportsmanlike.
Well done.
Jordan Ayew.
Yes. Fair. You win the Fair Play Award for this week, Ollie.
Oh, I don't know if this guy's French. Freddie Canute.
Yes, he's on there.
Oh, jeez, that was close.
This is someone who was I think I mentioned him in a Remember Them. Lamana Lua.
Yeah, he's on there.
What a name.
I'm gonna go with Benjani.
Oh, Benjani.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with
I am running out of names here massively.
Yannick Balassi.
Oh, it's a good shout.
He's not on there, which means
Oh,
Berth does win.
Yes,
But-
come on.
Fair play, Berth. Fair play.
I had one more name.
Who was it?
That was Shola Amiobi.
He's on there.
I'm surprised that Balassi's not on there.
He didn't
No.
score many goals though, and he wasn't
No.
playing for that long.
You're gonna
That's
love.
true.
You're gonna love this. So
DR Congo,
one-
though, wasn't he?
ones you didn't get. You've got Abdullah Decore, Benny
Oh, wow.
McCarthy.
Hey, McCarthy,
This
what
was a
player.
player I didn't get on the quiz. Ethan Ekoku.
Oh, doesn't he do commentating? He does commentating sometimes.
El Hatch Diouf.
Wow,
yeah,
he did
fair
not score
play.
that many goals. Surely.
Henry Kamara. This is a good one. Maim Biram Diouf, the Man United player who also played for
Wow.
Stoke. Mido. Obafemi Martins. I missed that. That guy was a
Obafemi Martins is on this
He's
list.
a
Oh.
Seattle Sounders legend. He truly is.
Did I
I'm
say
surprised.
Obafemi Martins?
No,
Did I
he
say
didn't.
Obafemi?
No.
Are you sure? I feel like I did. I
well,
had it in
No,
my
you
head.
said someone else, mate.
This is another
I
one
won
I
anyway,
didn't.
so.
I didn't get. It was Peter and Dolovu.
And Lovu. And
And
Lovu.
I've never honestly heard that name before. I think that
I
must
watched
be
plenty
like
of
90s.
Premier League years.
Must be a 90s name. Peter Odemwingie,
Oh,
Saido
never
Berahino,
Oh, yeah, it's like a yesteryear.
Berahino,
It's like
wow.
shit West Brom strikers.
Sean Bartlett,
Charlton legend. Charlton legend.
Stefan Session, Tony Yeboah, and
Oh,
Yeboah's
wow.
on there.
yeah, Tony Yeboah,
Yeboah's on there, but Balassi isn't. Give me a break.
and Victor Anichebe.
I was actually going to say Victor Moses at one point, and I feel like that would have been a bad shout.
He wasn't on there, was he?
No,
I suppose
no.
he didn't score that many
I don't think I'm going
No.
to check his goals
because
scored
he
now.
really
actually.
only had one good season at Chelsea. But it was an unbelievable season. But I think he got about 6 or 7 goals that season.
He got
Yeah, he didn't.
at Chelsea. The most he got in one season was 3.
3. Oh, okay.
the
So he
league.
must have. At least one of those was that season then.
Yeah, no, it must have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So in total, he got 4 for West Ham. No, yeah, 1 for West Ham. Sorry, 3 for Stoke, 1 for Liverpool, 3 for us, 3 for us again, 1 for us, and then when he was at Wigan, he got 1, 1, and 6. So
Oh.
not enough for him, unfortunately. So there we go. Berth's finally back on the horse. He's won another Lone Army Carousel. He's back.
That's what I do.
Congrats,
That's what I do.
bro.
That's what I do. I'll be injured. I'll be injured again next week. I'll be injured. I'm Reece James. I'm Reece James, aren't I? That's the
Oh
problem.
no! Right, we are at the end of another episode. Thank you for listening. Treat yourself well. We'll be back on Monday. We're going to do a Charisma question special, and of course, take a look back at Chelsea's game against Man United in the Lauren James derby. I've just named it that. It's the Lauren James derby. So till next time, that'll be us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.